Gorilla. Deep in Africa's dense jungle, a troop of gorillas moved silently through the towering trees. Mist hovered among the foliage as birds chirped and leaves rustled in the morning breeze. At the center was the Silverback, the leader, protector, and heart of the troop. His massive frame moved with calm authority, every step deliberate, every glance alert. Mothers carried their infants gently on their backs, while the young gorillas tumbled and played, tumbling over roots, chasing each other, and discovering the forest around them. The Silverback guided them, ensuring that no one strayed too far, and that every member of the troop stayed safe. Life in the jungle was a mix of survival and joy. The gorillas searched for leaves, stems, fruits, and occasionally insects to satisfy their enormous appetites. Their movements were careful and precise, yet even in their quest for food, moments of play and laughter shone through. Gorillas were not just strong, they were intelligent and emotional. They communicated through gestures, grunts, and expressive eyes. A mother soothed her crying infant. A young gorilla learned to groom another, and the Silverback observed everything with pride and vigilance. Each interaction was a lesson in survival, family, and social bonds. As the morning sun rose higher, the troop discovered a small hidden stream. The water glistened under the sunlight, and the young gorillas rushed forward, splashing, tumbling, and squealing with excitement. The Silverback watched silently, allowing the little ones to explore while remaining ready to protect them at any sign of danger. The forest was full of lessons. Every tree had fruits, every branch hid insects, and every rustle in the undergrowth told a story. Today, the troop came across a grove of wild bananas. Mothers showed the young ones how to peel and eat them carefully. Some of the infants fumbled, dropping pieces and learning through trial and error. The Silverback occasionally corrected them with a gentle nudge, teaching the importance of patience and care. Hours passed, and the troop moved steadily deeper into the forest. Sunlight pierced through the canopy in golden beams, illuminating the lush greenery. Birds flew above, and distant calls of monkeys echoed, creating a symphony of forest life. The gorillas paused at times, resting in shaded clearings, stretching, and grooming each other, a sign of bonding and trust. The young gorillas were curious, exploring every nook and cranny. One little gorilla found a fallen branch and started using it as a tool to reach leaves hanging from a higher branch. The Silverback approached, observing silently, then gave a low, approving grunt. This was learning in action, survival skills passed down without words, yet understood perfectly. Suddenly the Silverback froze. A faint rustle in the undergrowth signaled that something unusual was nearby. The young gorillas stopped playing, clinging closer to their mothers. The Silverback sniffed. The Silverback sniffed the air, ears twitching, chest rising and falling steadily. Every sound, every scent, every subtle movement in the forest told him a story. The young gorillas clung closer to their mothers, sensing the tension, while the troop remained frozen for a moment, waiting for his signal. He stepped forward cautiously, muscles tensed but controlled. The forest seemed to hold its breath as he scanned the undergrowth. A pair of eyes reflected faintly in the dim light, curious birds hopping. Harmless, but his vigilance never wavered. The troop relaxed slightly, but the lesson had been clear. Always be aware, always respect the jungle. The young gorillas, now slightly braver, began exploring again, touching leaves, poking at vines, and testing their balance on small roots. One little one spotted a shiny insect crawling on a branch and tried to catch it, squealing in excitement. His mother chuckled softly, nudging him gently while teaching him which things were safe to touch and which to leave alone. The Silverback moved slowly, guiding them to a shaded clearing. Here, the forest floor was soft with fallen leaves, and the sun peeked through the canopy, creating patches of warm light. Mothers and infants rested while older youngsters wrestled playfully, learning strength and coordination. The Silverback sat in the center, chest rising and falling steadily, listening to every noise, the whisper of the wind, the rustle of leaves, the distant call of another Silverback marking his territory. Time passed, and the troop reached a slow-moving river. The young gorillas rushed forward, dipping their hands, splashing water, and laughing in their own way. Some clumsily tried to imitate the adults, but the silverback monitored their every move, stepping in gently when a smaller one lost balance on a slippery rock. As the afternoon sun began to fade, the silverback led them to a small grove filled with fruits. He watched as mothers taught their young how to peel and eat carefully, showing patience and care. Some infants dropped fruits repeatedly, learning by trial and error. Each mistake was met with calm guidance, reinforcing lessons in survival and attention. Suddenly, a distant rustle caught his attention again. This time it was more deliberate, a leopard prowling quietly. The silverback's chest rose and fell in a controlled rhythm. He stomped a warning on the ground, letting out a deep roar that echoed through the jungle. The leopard hesitated, eyes narrowing, before retreating silently into the shadows. The troop huddled closer, safe under his protection, understanding the power and authority of their guardian. The sun dipped lower, painting the forest in shades of gold and crimson. The troop moved carefully to a resting area surrounded by thick trees. Mothers cuddled their infants, the young ones snuggled together, and the silverback positioned himself at the center, scanning every direction. Night in the jungle brought new sounds. Cricket,